How's it going, guys? It's your boy Rod from DBZSHFIGS.com, and today I'm bringing to you an unboxing and review of the Dragon Ball SH Figuarts Broly 40th Anniversary Reissue Edition. So if you don't know, this figure was originally released back in 2014. And earlier this year, we got an announcement that it was getting a 40th Anniversary reissue that, was so popular that it actually required 2 waves. So if you were early on and pre-ordered, you probably are getting yours this week or next week. But if you were a little late to the party, you're probably on the 2nd wave and won't be delivered to you until January. So thankfully I was there early to get this one because I was so excited for this figure. This is one that I really wanted growing up, but unfortunately I didn't really have the means to get it. But now that I'm an adult and I can buy my own things, here I have this amazing figure. I'm so excited. I can't believe we got another crack at this figure, and I'm so glad I get to add it to my collection. But anyways, like I was saying, it was just released this month. It did go up for $90 on Premium Bandai when it was up for pre-order, which is a bit steep compared to what it was worth originally. But you have to remember that was almost 12 years ago. So of course inflation and stuff takes its part. However, just want to let you know that I'm on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Once I reach that milestone, I'll be giving away one of these Tamashii Nation store exclusive Son Goku Innocent Challengers. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe because you might even be the one that takes this one home. While you're at here, let's look at the difference in size of the box. Look at this Goku box and look at this Broly box. It's incredible. And yeah, you might have noticed they of course kept the original packaging that they used to have the 1.0 figures in, specifically this Broly figure. The only thing they added, of course, is the 40th anniversary logo there, as well as I believe it used to not have a Tamashii Nation's quality sticker. I think it only used to have a Toei animation sticker. So that's pretty cool. But just gonna give it a little spin on the box here just so you can see it in all its glory. Even the back is so nostalgic to those 1.0 figures. Oh man. Please leave it in the comments below. Do you prefer the old school boxing or the new school boxing for the Dragon Ball SH Figuarts? Also, while you're at it, make sure to check the Discord for the channel. It's a community where a lot of people that love Dragon Ball SH Figuarts come together to talk about Dragon Ball SH Figuarts all day long, share figure photography, and talk about the news. If that sounds like a community you'd like to join, link in the description. So here we have the figure in the clamshell, and of course I have to hold the camera myself because I have to zoom out since this box is just too big to include everything on frame. But anyways, just gonna give it a quick little spin just so you can see how all the accessories are lined up within the plastic here. So you can see that beautiful 40th anniversary stand there. It's all pretty cool. Let's get them out. So here we have the figure straight out of the package, and oh my god, it just looks incredible in person. It feels incredible in my hand. Again, I'm just so happy. This is like my childhood right here, wanting this figure just because of how awesome and how crazy it looks. You can see the boulder shoulders he has on here, all the muscle and definition, and even like the shading just on it looks amazing in my opinion. Everything looks really cool. Yes, you might be able to say, yeah, this has really outdated articulation or whatever, because in some poses he does look kind of funny, especially like this back here. Kind of looks interesting, like it's poking through the top of his back muscle with the bottom. He does look funny in some angles, I'm not gonna lie to you, but overall I feel like he looks like an incredible piece to have in your collection, to have in your shelf. Broly, he's just one of those characters that was not really too important. However, I feel like he just transcended just into the main media, because there's people that maybe haven't kept up with Dragon Ball, but as soon as you mention Broly, they know who you're talking about. That big buff Saiyan that's all about destruction, and he hates Goku just because he was crying near him. It's just such a funny origin story in my opinion. But yeah, this is the legendary Super Saiyan in all his glory. It's got a look through it really quickly here. The gold paint at the bottom looks really awesome, along with the red paint for the shoes. I think it really stands out, especially this blue here. I don't know what you call it. It's like a gemstone or something, but the blue looks really nice. It really picks up on the camera. And the pants themselves, they're supposed to be kind of white. However, to me, they look like they have a blue tint to it, which just really adds, it gives it like an extra like shading effect, which I really enjoy. As far as the skirt, it has a really nice like dark red tone to it. And as you can see here, it has a little mechanism for you to like extend it out. Same thing with the side ones, you could extend out, which is really cool. You know, I wish we would get like more soft good stuff. I think it would make it look a lot better, but at the end of the day, with the technology they had back then, they did what they could, and he looks pretty cool with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything else looks pretty cool as well. Another blue gemstone here, as well as on his necklace here. The necklace is kind of molded onto his skin, so it's not gonna move at all. But yeah, it looks really nice with the gold, as well as the bracelets here. He does come out of the box with some plastic around his wrist here just to protect the paint, meaning the gold paint from scratching onto the skin paint here. And then the head sculpt here is incredible. Of course, when he goes into his legendary Super Saiyan status, you know, he doesn't have eyeballs anymore. It's just a white, ominous look to him. And then the hair, oh my God, the hair. It looks so beautiful. Like from the back, it's all the same color. However, you can see the shading in the front is giving like green hues, like through the midline here. And it just looks really cool. I will tell you, be careful with this because it's really pointed. It's really hard plastic, so you could stab your finger with that if you're not too careful. But overall, just, oh my God. I know I'm kind of gushing at this, but I'm just so excited to have this in my collection. Like I said, it's something that I've wanted for such a long time. And I'm just glad that they decided to do a reissue on this. I know a lot of people were not really happy with the survey they did for the 40th anniversary, because people were like, we don't want that Broly anymore. We want a new Broly with new articulation. And yeah, to a certain degree, I do agree with that. I would have preferred maybe to make something similar just with like new articulation. But if this was the second option and that's what they could do right now, I'm completely happy they did it, especially holding it in my hand now. But yeah, if you don't know, also the cooler final form did get a 40th anniversary reissue. If you haven't checked out that review, it's in the channel, so check that out. And of course, since this is a 40th anniversary reissue, you do get your stand with it, which is really cool. And I was kind of worried that this was not going to come with the little, lever arm to hold the figure, because if you watch the cooler review, that one did not come with one, which is still kind of crazy to me. However, the cool thing about this one is that he also comes with the original stand that the Broly came with, and he comes with 2 lever arms. So yeah, so you could actually use both stands. However, it only comes with one little holder piece here, so only one clamp. So you gotta, work that out for yourself. As far as the accessories, other than the stands, it's pretty minimal, to be honest. So he comes straight out of the box with this face here, which is just the ominous look that Broly has. Then he also comes with this one, which gotta be the most scariest one, because if you see a dude looking like this give you that kind of smirk, oh boy, you're in trouble. Lastly, of course, you gotta have a screaming face, since this is Dragon Ball and Ki blasts are involved. He's got to be screaming. As far as hands, he comes straight out of the box with these closed fists ready to fight someone. Then of course he comes with what I like to call the Ki blast hands, which are just the open palm hands where he's throwing his Ki blast at someone. And then lastly, if he was Goku, I would say he comes with Kamehameha effect hands. However, he doesn't do that move, so they're just kind of like gripping hands. He could be holding something or someone, wherever you want to do with him. But that's basically it for the hands and faces. Other than that, the only other thing he comes with are 3 of these cool looking, effect pieces that he throws. So they're little aura effect pieces, little spheres of green energy, which are pretty cool. It does have a peg hole in there. However, I think you just put that on one of the stands. So like it should be able to connect to like something like this, if I'm not mistaken here. So yep, it goes in there. So there you go. You could have the effect Ki blast just holding on there, put it on the stand, and you could have Broly throwing it or holding it, whatever you want. So now we're gonna jump into the review part of the video, and as always, we're gonna start with articulation. So at the bottom here with the feet, He does rotate 360. He is able to bend up, bend down, and he does have a slight ankle rocker, which is pretty cool. Then at the leg here, he is able to bend at the knee. However, this hard plastic skirt sometimes does not let it move, so you're only going to be able to get about that range of motion there. And then he does have a nice thigh swivel to rotate inward, outward. The leg moves out about this much just because, of course, that hard piece there is going to stop him. Same thing with the front, and especially with the back, you're not going to have much mobility there, so that's unfortunate. But he is able to bend over quite a bit, honestly, almost 90-degree angle, which is pretty nice. He is going to have that ab crunch, so he can, you know, bend down and bend up pretty good. And he, unfortunately, is pretty hard to bend him side to side. I don't know if that was introduced yet back then, but it doesn't appear to be, because with the new figures, you could like rotate them or tilt them to the side, to the other side. This one doesn't seem like he sticks. He is able to rotate the shoulder 360 very easily. He has a very good shoulder joint there, which he should, because that's a huge shoulder. So he bends that much. And the butterfly joint actually goes pretty far in, so that's pretty nice to have. His thumb actually reaches around his nose. And then you have a 360 on the bicep. The elbow is able to bend basically 90, which is all you really want. And then the wrist rotates 360. And he has that ball peg, so you're able to move the hand inward and outward. And as far as the head, he is able to move 360 around if you want to. Of course, always be careful because you're going to be potentially contaminating the paint here. And then he is able to look down quite a bit, and he's only able to look straight, so he's not really able to look up because the back of his hair starts hitting, you know, his traps there. So overall, does it have the best articulation? No, especially because he's conflicted down here, and then everything else, of course, nowadays we have way better articulation. But are you going to really be stressing out about the articulation? I don't think so. So I'm going to give it a 3. As far as accuracy goes, I mean, golly, this figure is amazing. When I look at it, I just automatically reminisce about that Broly movie. Such an amazing movie, in my opinion. It made so many people fall in love with the character, and this figure looks like straight out of that movie, so it's gonna be a 5 for me. As far as price to plastic, I mean, at $90, it is very steep, especially when you consider like shipping and taxes. Does this look like a $100 figure? I actually think it kind of does, you know? I think it draws a lot of attention. I think it has a lot of shelf presence, which is a little spoiler for later, but still, not too many accessories with this one. I think maybe they could included some more faces, some more hands. That would have made it a better deal. But overall, am I complaining because I paid the $90 for this figure? No, not really, because it was either that or paying resale. And I am happy with my purchase. I'm not going to lie to you. I know a lot of people don't share that same opinion. They're like, why would I spend $90 for an outdated figure? But for me, I'm really happy with my purchase. So for me, I'm gonna give it a 4. As far as scale goes, so if the internet is to be trusted, Broly is basically pushing 10 feet. Meanwhile, Goku is about 5'9". So he should be a little taller than half, which it does look pretty accurate. Maybe Broly could have been like a slightly taller, but I think it's pretty accurate. You know, I know a lot of people complain kind of with the Broly height. I know the Kong Studios one is a lot bigger, but honestly, to me, this does not look too bad. So I'm going to give it a 5. As far as shelf presence, I mean, this guy just does not need an introduction to that category. This guy is the personification of shelf presence. As soon as somebody walks into the door and sees this guy on a shelf, they're going to be like, what the heck is that? Like, are you going to look at a scene like this and not be drawn to what's happening there? Like, Broly just completely overpowering Goku, who, as we all know, Goku's like the strongest person ever. It's just aura personified is all I could say. So for me, I know it's biased, but It's got to be a 5. So overall, Broly 40th Anniversary Reissue Edition for me gets a cumulative score of 4.4 out of 5, which makes it a top-notch figure in my opinion. Of course, I do see the argument that a lot of people make, and when they choose to pass up on this one, it is outdated. It is an old sculpt. There is really nothing new other than the stand that it comes with. But to me, it's just, I'm just speechless when I look at it, when I know that I finally have this figure in my collection. I'm just really happy with this. But if you disagree, of course, you can head over to DBZSHFIGS.com. Go into the screen page for this Broly figure. There should be a survey there for you to input your own ratings for each of the 5 categories. That way we get a cumulative score from the entire community. While you're there, make sure to head over to the Amazon Deals tab where you'll find all the best deals currently on Amazon for Dragon Ball SH Figuarts. There might even be something you want to pick up there. But other than that, if you're still listening to me at this point in time, just know that I really appreciate you and I hope you have a nice rest of your day.